Good evening and thanks for joining us. Thunder Bay City Council will get an update on where this year's budget is sitting tomorrow night. The picture isn't pretty. The third quarter variance report is showing a budget shortfall of more than $5 million, with many departments in the red. A late winter and ongoing legal costs have led the way in budget troubles. Council will be informed of a $1 million cost overrun in legal services. That comes as a result of hiring external law firms and other ongoing litigation. Another $1.3 million overrun was caused by the removal of snow in a winter that just wouldn't end. EMS, golf, transit, fire services, and municipal childcare are all over budget as well. Some departments are expected to end the year with a surplus, and that will be used to pay down some of the additional costs. The filling of vacant positions will also be put off until 2014. Well, the Canada Games complex had to be evacuated Saturday following an improper release of chlorine. Fire officials responded to the complex just after 8 o'clock. A staff member had mixed chemicals improperly, causing Thunder Bay Fire and Rescue's hazardous materials response team to shut down the facility for nearly 5 hours. The building was evacuated and some occupants were sent to the Port Arthur Arena to take shelter. One employee of the complex was sent to hospital with inhalation injuries. His condition hasn't been released. Chemicals have since been removed from the Canada Games complex and it has now resumed normal operations. One woman has been sent to hospital for precautionary reasons following a dinnertime motor vehicle collision. Two minivans collided at the intersection of Bay and Court Streets around 6 o'clock this evening. One minivan sustained damage to the front and the other had heavy damage to the passenger side. A woman who was in the vehicle with the passenger side damage was taken to hospital. The occupants of the other vehicle didn't receive medical attention. Police say the collision is still under investigation. Well, it's all good news, says the Mayor of Atikokan. This in response to the redevelopment of 2 mills in and around the municipality. Resolute Forest Products is currently building a multi-million-dollar facility on the site of the old Sapawi mill. An American-based company, Retench, is revamping another mill, which will supply the Atikokan generating station with wood pellets. Nate Jones reports.
It's a busy place just outside Atikokan at the former Buchanan mill site. Excavation and blasting is taking place to clear the way for a new $50 million facility. The new sawmill will create 90 direct jobs and more will follow in harvesting and transportation. Resolute has also signed a memoranda of understanding with local First Nations groups. Currently, Rainy Lake Tribal Contracting is involved in the preparation of the property.
We've had some site cleanup and rehabilitation contracts awarded. They've been awarded to First Nations groups, which we're excited to partner with. And the site preparation will be completed by the end of November approximately, and construction will begin in the early spring of next year.
On the other side of town, Rentec is busy refurbishing and developing the site of a former wood fiber mill. Contracts have already been signed with Ontario Power Generation for Rentec to supply wood pellets to the Atikokan generating station. The company is to invest over $22 million in the wood pellet production facility, and it will employ about 20 workers. Mayor Dennis Brown says the conversion of the OPG plant will create even more jobs in harvesting and transportation due to the change in fuel.
When the coal was coming here, it was just coming from Saskatchewan. There were no jobs really in harvesting the coal. But out here in northwestern Ontario now, we'll be having the harvesting of the wood biomass, and this provides more work.
Rentec has been contracted to provide half of the wood pellets to the generating station. The other half will come from Resolute's Thunder Bay mill.
So our contract with the Ontario Power Authority is for 90,000 tons of pellets per year. So that's what we're contracted for, and that's what we have secured with our two suppliers. You know, in the case of Rentec, they'll be providing us our commissioning fuel right first thing, into the next year.
Rentec hopes to have the plant operational by April of next year. For the small community of Atikokan, it's all good news. Nate Jones, TBT News.
Highway 11 has been reopened following 2 separate motor vehicle incidents today. A stretch of highway between Nippigan and Beardmore was closed for close to 3 hours Sunday morning following a single vehicle collision. A tractor trailer rolled over and caught fire. The lone occupant of the vehicle suffered minor injuries. That closure came following a 2-vehicle accident near Beardmore, which closed the highway for nearly 4 hours. No injuries were reported in that incident. Well, a new survey is asking what kind of art you want to see on the waterfront. The Thunder Bay Art Gallery is proposing a move to Prince Arthur's Landing in the next few years. Officials are hoping to get public input and recommendations. The survey is part of a business plan to see what direction the gallery should take at its new location. In just 1 week, more than 400 people have responded to the online poll. So far, it seems people are satisfied with the services offered, but there can always be more done.
So it really was about the services that the gallery provides. So we asked people if they would attend certain events at the gallery, certain services. So, for example, workshops, art classes, tours by curators, talks by artists.
Participants were also asked about their use of the waterfront, if they would like to see a bigger gift shop at the gallery, and the potential of a cafe at the new location. The survey will remain online until Tuesday. It'll be used in conjunction with a fundraising feasibility study to create an overall business plan by the end of January 2014. Cliffs Natural Resources is threatening to pull out of the Ring of Fire if the province can't ensure road access to the chromite deposit. For our question of the day, we wanted to know if you thought the company would actually pull out or not.
Well, I think he'd do that. That's why he's been trying to get that going for a long time. And it's about time they smarten up and let him go ahead with things and get it going and get this thing going for the workers.
Well, for economic reasons, I sure hope not. Lots of jobs that could be created from it, so I think if it doesn't get up and running, then it'd be a real shame.
I work with a lot of First Nations people, and I think a road would be viable to both them and to Cliffs. And I think that Cliffs should keep the option open of a railway also if they can't get the road.
Oh, I believe they will.
How come?
They're in it to make money, and they have other opportunities, and they'll probably move along.
When you have a government, the federal government, let alone provincial government, that are feuding, how the hell is a private company supposed to even get something done? Okay, and business should be allowed to run the way that they need to do, whether it's a road or rail up to that area.
Well, a little bit of dreary weather didn't stop kids from dressing up and going to the spooktacular event at Prince Arthur's Landing today. The event was free to the public and full of ghoulish groups of families and friends. Mike Albanese has the story.
The second annual Spooktacular event kicked off today, and despite a less than perfect weather forecast, the building was packed. Last year, the free event brought in 300 visitors, and this year the event had an estimated 1,500. Angie Jensen, one of the building's operators, spoke on a few of the neat things that drew so many visitors in.
We've got a lot of art installations that people have built outside so the kids can pose, take pictures with them. We've worked in a little bit of local history to with the museum's help. That we got the Bannock Burn is an actual ship that sunk in Lake Superior, so that's our sunken ship out there is the Bannock Burn.
The event was themed Ghost Ship, so most of the props were pirates and ship parts. There was even a haunted ship you could walk through, and as Jensen says, it was the most popular attraction for most of the visitors.
We've had a lot of people through, and everybody's like really happy, enjoying themselves. There's something for everybody. People love the haunted walk downstairs. They come out all, sometimes the parents are a little more shaken than the kids are. The kids have more fun.
Two brave souls were about to embark on the ship walk when we caught up to them, and Jensen may have been right. The kids were looking forward to a terrifying time, although some still just came for a face painting or two.
I'm looking forward to going in the maze for the pirate ship because everybody says it's like super terrifying and things, so I want to see it.
My favorite part of today was getting my face painted.
We asked the young men if they had ever come here before and if they enjoyed their time enough to come back next year.
Yeah, it's amusing. It's fun. First time I'm here.
If the kids do come next year, they are in for a treat. The group wants to extend the event to an entire weekend, and there's rumors the theme is going to be a time machine. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
A young Thunder Bay resident has taken initiative to help a great cause. He's rallied his families and friends and is looking to give back to the community. Hunter Johnson is an 11-year-old boy trying to raise money for the new Northern Cardiac Fund. Johnson started his escapade after his grandfather survived a heart transplant in April of 2012. Johnson's grandfather's case was special, and the doctors were baffled by its success. His heart stopped 3 times during surgery, but Johnson's grandfather kept pushing through. Doctors awarded him with the name Miracle Man, and ever since, Johnson has been so appreciative, he's been hosting a haunted fundraiser to bring awareness.
We wanted to give back in the community, and with the Northern Cardiac Fund, it was perfect because it's new and it just shows more of our appreciation because we know there's a lot of families that are going through this, and the experience was, there's no words to describe it.
The amount of people showing up to the haunted yard keeps growing, and the show continues to expand as well.